Okay, what's up everyone? Hey listen, so truth be told, I made a long series of videos putting on new springs, putting on the caster camber plates, did a ton of work on it, cussed here and there. Video ended up being way too long and pretty boring, to be honest. So I decided to make another video here. I'm just going to wrap up what I just did last weekend because things are starting to get interesting and things are going to change a lot on this car. So let's recap real quick. Okay, we leave the guy's house, man. We picked up the springs and we picked up the caster camber plates. And Connor got a new Hot Wheel. Got Kenny Brown lowering springs with poly isolators that could probably need replaced. These look okay. That one's got a little bit worn, and our Hotchkis caster camber plates we're gonna be putting on. So again, I got all this to use, but it comes with the boots, and it comes with a bag of all the hardware that we need for the caster camber plates, the bump stops, and the spacers and washers you put between the strut mounts. So. You guys want to see how stiff these Maximum Motorsports severing connectors are? I'll show you. So back wheel has been lifted up. It's on a jack stand. About to pick the other back wheel up. It's on the frame so I can get to the springs. That jack stand is on. That one's not even touching. So this whole body here won't even flex enough to sit on the jack stand with the back wheel up. So, yep, so that jack is on, supporting the front. This jack is on, supporting the opposite side of the rear. And the front end won't even twist enough to touch that. So, give you an idea how stiff those are. That's stiff, man. Then continuing on, so I know I've got a dead strut, and I know I've got a jacked up fuel line. Brake line because of my own dumbass doing. And now we got the spring that's about to shoot out and kill us. So I guess we should get the big ass crowbar. Boom. Alright, so I got the caster camber plates installed. All I did was just kind of polish them up a little bit on my polishing wheel, and had to enlarge this hole just a little bit to get it to the line, but they're installed and they're not actually in that tight just because I'm going to need a line anyways, but they're screwed down. So they're installed, and I picked up the Monroe strut since mine are shot.
I don't know what this box.
It's a strut.
A strut is a thing for a car.
That's right. Strut for a car. But these plates will let me put it on an 87 whenever I take them off of the car.
Yeah.
And put them onto a spindle for the 5 lugs. So hopefully I can use these if I want to. If not, I know that the ones I'm getting later with the conversion will come with new ones. So. Yeah. So the brake lines are on, so we fixed that little problem. Okay, so real quick, I downloaded and printed out the instruction sheet from Hotchkis to make sure I got the order of things right here. So I've extended the shaft on the strut and put the boot on. The boot, this lip right here is going to slide on this plastic sleeve on the bump stop. The bump stop is going to slide kind of freely onto the shaft. And then you have the spacer, and then you have the washers. Now, I know that the guy that had this kit on his Mustang had the same springs that I'm putting on the car, had 3 washers per side, because that's what came off of it. So they say to stack it, and this is going to basically set how far up the threads are going to stick out of the hood of the car. Alright, so the boot's on, and we're going to go ahead and get this lifted up, set into the car. I need a washer, don't I? Nice. Okay, so I don't know if you can see this here, but I've got the spring positioned with the shortest part to the back of the saddle here. So that's actually sitting on the lip. So the end of the pigtail here will be facing towards us. That way it gives me a place to rest the short part of the spring on towards the back, and then the long part of the spring will go into this deep part of the saddle once we start jacking it up. So fingers crossed, see what happens. Here's a side-by-side comparison of the rear springs. These guys are not that much shorter, so I'm anxious to see how much they change when I put them on the car. So they don't look to be compressive rate or anything. So I don't see any major stampings on them. I'm going off of the word of the gentleman I bought them from. So hopefully they work out. If not, you know, we'll see how the car sits when I lower it down. But hopefully it works out. If not, I'll just have to sell them, I guess. But yeah. Fingers crossed, man. We'll see how much it actually lowers the car. I did take measurements of the rear fender and front fenders from the ground, so we'll get an idea, hopefully, of how much that car actually drops down. Here I've got my stock springs. I found a guy. There's a guy that's literally like 5 miles from my house who buys and sells and parts out Mustangs. He's kind of been calling me first, just because he's a nice guy like that. And kind of give me first dibs before he puts it up on the internet on Craigslist and eBay. So, you know, I think I told you guys he had a car that had a full 5-look conversion and a whole bunch of other stuff. Well, last weekend I went ahead and bought the low-ring springs he had off the car, and I bought the caster camber plates. As I was putting those on last weekend, I ended up ruining the brake lines, which were shot anyways, because I forgot to take the brake off when I dropped the wheel down. So this guy, I ended up getting new brake lines on both of the sides. So it's got the new, of course you can't see it, but it's got new rubber brake lines on both sides. And here are the pretty looking caster camber plates I installed that ended up fixing my camber problem. So now this wheel has a negative camber, which can obviously be adjusted, and this one does this one does too. So the wheels are no longer sticking out with a positive camber. I eyeball these, so it's going to need an alignment. I've got the plate set back pretty far for its caster on both of them. So we're going to need an alignment. So look at that. Hey, look, we got caster camber plates. And when I took off the original struts, let me show you guys these real quick. Okay, let's get this here. Here are the original struts. Notice the up and down play. I'm letting go and it is falling. So the struts, guys, were trash. This whole time I've been driving the car with no struts at all. So I think this one's pretty much as bad. This one's not as bad. This one's, I can still move it up and down with my hands, but it's not. This one's actually not that bad. That one was completely gone. So this was on the driver's side. Passenger side was shot. So of course you can't see them in there, but there are new struts on the car. So I went ahead and picked up new brake lines, you know, the frame to caliper lines, and new struts. So the front end is wearing new struts, new springs, and caster camber plates. I say the springs were used, they're off the car, they're supposed to be lowering springs. Alright, let's get an idea of the drop here. So the front is lower, the back is a little bit higher, and the wheels need alignment. So, not a whole lot of difference here in the drop. So the front end looks a little bit better there. It seems like it's dropped down a little bit in the front. I like the drop in the front. I just need to get the rear down a little bit to match it. And just wanted to get a feeling on the front suspension. It is totally different. I guess I didn't realize how bad that front end was clanging up and down. So bumps, of course, are smoother, quieter. The suspension's not as noisy, and it feels a lot more solid. So it's time to bring it home, get out of the neighborhood here. So there's no point in fixing the brakes. I'm about to strip off the entire brake system in this car anyways, and it's going to be completely gone, and we'll be getting the Cobra stuff in, the GT and S95 and 5-lug stuff, you know, hopefully this weekend. If not this weekend, maybe next weekend, just because it's going to take me a little bit to get everything off. I got to tear the axle out of this car, and then yeah, I'm looking forward to the 373 gears. I'm looking forward to the 5-lug conversion. It'll be a while since I get it back on the road, so it's safe to say this right here is the last time I'll be on the car. Unfortunately, I'll be able to drive the car, so I'm gonna miss it, but it'll be a while before we can get a 5-lug wheels for it. You know, that's really the big expense, is the right wheels and tires. Love my gloves. And you know, just how long it's gonna take me to, you know, they're expensive, obviously. I want to get some decent wheels for it. Yeah, man, everybody, thanks for watching. So this is gonna wrap it up. Like I said, stay tuned, because we'll be pulling the axle out of this thing. Oh, stop, girl. Oh yeah, that's not safe. We're gonna pull the axle out of this thing and swapping it for, again, 373 posi rear, 5-lug discs, SN95 spindles. It's not exactly safe to drive, so let's get this girl inside. I think I may sweep the floor a little bit from the last work, because it's fixing to get a lot dirtier, and I'm fixing to pull out the entire front and rear suspension on this car again. So If you ever wonder how to get good at something, do it over and over. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna pull out the rear end again. We're gonna pull out the front. Well, really, I'll just get the rear end out so we can get it over to the guy's shop so I can get it traded out for the new rear end, the 5-lug conversion, the 4-wheel discs, and yeah, progress moving along, guys. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and hope you like it. See you later.